Hello golfers, Jess Frank coming to you from the Jess Frank Golf Academy YouTube video. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you again for all your support. I love teaching this game. I love helping people play better golf, and that's why I bring you these videos on a weekly basis. So today I want to talk to you about something that's super important, is the role of the right arm and how the right arm plays a tremendous power source. It's a way to hit the ball hard. It's a way to hit the ball farther. Understanding how the right arm works is something that can make you a better golfer. And so what I see most people doing is that as they're coming back, as they're swinging the club back with the right arm, they're doing things that are putting them out of position with the right arm. So today I want to show you about what goes on not only with the right arm, but with the elbow, the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist, and how the hand sits on the club. So partially when you grip a golf club, you want to be gripping the club in the fingers of your hands, okay? So I see so many people right off the bat holding the golf club in their trail hand, my right hand, like a hot dog, okay? So the problem with that immediately starts where they close the face, because they have their hand, the grip in the palm of their hand, and it turns down too fast. So it closes, and then on the way back, it opens. So they have a reverse effect. So that's something I look at all the time with people with their right hand, is that understanding that their right hand, the club must sit in the fingers of the right hand. And you'll see when I grip the club here, is that my thumb is on the left side of the shaft here. I see so many people with their clubs like this, with the hand on the underneath, with the right thumb on the side of the shaft. So let's make sure first, before we do anything, that the right hand is on the club correctly, because that will put you in a better position immediately. Then from there, at setup, I've done videos in the past about this, but the right arm is in a position where when you put your right arm down, it should feel like you're in a curl position, okay? So when you do that, you can see that my right arm is bent, okay? I see so many golfers with their right arm turned out and the elbow kind of towards the camera here. And what that does is that as soon as they turn their elbow out, their hand goes in, so it internally rotates their arm. It internally rotates their shoulder, their bicep, and their forearm down. So now their shoulders are already open. So when their shoulders are open, you know what can happen from there? You can swing over the top. So when I set my right arm, I set it down in a curl position. So you can see the pocket of my right arm, my right elbow, is facing the camera. It's not facing out. So from here, I turn my hand independently and my wrist independently from my elbow. So that's something that's very important. So then I can grip the club in the fingers, okay? Now I have this right arm nice and just a little bit bent here. I don't have it flexed or straightened over. It's under. So, and then I have my grip in the right spot. So this is building your right arm, okay? Building the whole from the shoulder down, the elbow, to the wrist, to the forearm, to the wrist. Now as I have this in position now, from here, it's going to be much easier to swing the right arm back. And you can see here, as the right arm starts to swing back, what happens is that my arm goes straight in the beginning, a very little flex of the or bending of the right wrist. Then as I go back, my right wrist, my trail wrist, starts to bend. My right arm starts to bend, and I'm in a position here at the top of the swing where I have my bicep, my forearm, my wrist, all in a position that's like an L here. There's an L, and I have some bend in there, because this is a power lever here. So if you don't get the right arm in a position where you can load the right arm in a position of power, then it's very difficult for you to swing the club back down and straighten your right arm as you go through, because that's what you want. You want to go from a bent right arm where the shoulder in your backswing is retracted. This arm is in a position here with the bicep, the inside of the bicep looking towards the camera, the forearm, the right wrist bent back, and from here you can see I'm in a really good position to bring the elbow back down, okay? Get the hands into the P6 position that we always talk about. And then from there, I'm going to have a lot more forward shaft lean through the ball. So people who struggle with casting, hitting behind the ball, slicing the ball, this is a drill that you could spend a lot of time on. And so I like to do a drill where I just take my left hand, hook it underneath my right tricep, and I hold the club up here like this. I just hold it up here. I turn back. Now I have my arm in a phenomenal position where I can bring this club down. And you can see as I bring the club down, my right elbow doesn't get behind me. I see a lot of this. I see a lot of like spaces in between the body and the right arm. And so if I put my my left hand underneath my bicep here, my tricep, as I come down, you can see here, that's going to get you into a great position. So you can see that the shaft right here, there's a little wedge or pizza wedge right here, that the shaft is leaning without you doing much. So understanding, controlling, starting with the grip with the fingers, understanding how the wrist moves independently from the elbow. So you can see I can turn my wrist without moving my elbow. So you can see that there. So I can move that there. So that's very important to do. That helps a lot of golfers cure a lot of bad stuff going on in their swing. Because when they're swinging back, they become internally rotated with their forearm, so their club gets really across the line. And then from here, what happens, they usually come steep. Not everybody does the Matthew Wolf and drops it back in. Most golfers go from really across the line to really steep. Not all the golfers come back and swing that club from in to out. So that's something that could really help your game. And again, I would do a lot of drills, just right arm, hook your left hand underneath here, swing the club back to the top, and then swing it through. And you'll start to see how what happens is that the elbow starts to lead here, the right wrist stays bent back. Now your club is I still have this gap here between my right forearm and the club head where my left hand goes. And now from here I can really let this club hit into the ground and release. And now I've got all this forward shaft lean that's going to help you hit the ball farther. So a really simple drill to help you understand the action of the right arm. So the left arm, the difference between the right arm and the left arm is that the right arm in the backswing, it's going to bend from the elbow up to the wrist, back to the hand. So with the left hand, you only have one lever here. You have the straight left arm and you have the wrist. But with the right arm, you've got a lot of leverage here. So you have to understand that leverage is super important for you to be able to create some speed, to create some power. And if you don't do it correctly, you're losing out on a lot of goodness about the golf swing and the speed. So it's just like if I was going to cast a fishing pole, right? I wouldn't cast a fishing pole with my arm straight and just do it this way. I want to go here, right? Naturally, you just take it back, the wrist would set, your arm would bend, and you'd be able to cast this fishing pole, boom, like that. So same thing if I have the right arm in this position at the top. From here, so I've got the right wrist bent back, I got the right elbow bent. From here, I can really allow this club to catch up and create some speed that way. So, that's why people ask me, oh, is it a left arm game? Is it a right arm game? I believe it's both arms, but don't neglect this right arm or your trail arm in understanding how good it is for you to create some speed. Because now I can work on, okay, here's my pivot, here's my right arm behind me. Go back up to the top. Okay, from here, I can really start to swing the right arm around my body. And I encourage people to do it with the club, you know, grip the club down by the head here, so it's a little bit lighter, so you can swing this club back and forth. So again, at the top, from here. So I would do a lot of those drills. This is also excellent for people who overthink the golf swing too much. You watch a lot of YouTube videos, I love when you watch me, but there's a lot of information out there, and if you're watching a lot of YouTube videos from different instructors, sometimes there's some viruses that get in the machine and you're trying to do too much. So sometimes you need to simplify it. So this is a phenomenal way to simplify. So you can feel the right wrist bent back, I've got the right arm in the good position. You know, some people talk about, you know, carrying the tray. You know, I think it's a little different than carrying the tray because I don't think your right wrist is quite bent back that much. I think it's more on the side of the club. So as I swing back, I'm not bending the wrist where it's like way back, but I do have the club, so my hand on the side of the club. So from here, I'm able to swing back down. And you can see here, this generates a phenomenal path too. So if you're struggling with over the top, this is a great way for you to stop coming over the top. So here, so you can see it's in a good position at the top here. You can see my knees have changed flex, my hips are at a tilt, my shoulders are at a tilt. So I'm still copying the same swing I do in my regular swing. And as I come down, this is a great drill to hit shots or to understand the role of the right arm. So then when the left hand's on, as you go back, now you're in a really good position. You can see this angle here. Now I'm really loaded, I'm ready to go, and I'm able to bring the club back down. Now here's the right arm still in that same position from when it was at the top. So the arm's bent here at the elbow, the wrist is bent back. So as I'm coming down, you also can see how there's space between my arms here. I see so many people with their right arm higher than their left. So the space between the arms. Now from here, what happens is that this club, look where the club head is behind my body. From behind my body, I can swing out at the ball. So now I'm hitting on the back side of the arc, swinging out at the ball, which gives me the inside-out path that I need to hit a little draw, or just hit the ball more solid. So you're not, you know, your club head isn't coming over the top, and your wrists aren't all in chaos. So this is something that I highly recommend for golfers. And in fact, you can do some right arm swings. Just take a little tee. You don't have to hit it. You don't have to hit it hard. But I would just make some swings where you're just to the top, back through, to the top, back through. So you're really working on how the arm moves. So I hit that pretty good. That's about, I don't know, 70 yards or so. But I hit it in the center of the face. You know, I can feel my right arm, how it's bent there at the top. In this good position here with the right wrist bent back. Right arm in a good position. From here, the club's going to come on a really good angle. So you can see, even just putting my right arm into this backswing position and right wrist into the backswing position, if all I do is bring the club back down, you can see where my hand goes. My hand is not going all of a sudden out towards the ball. It's going back down towards the ball. And I see that all the time. I see people take the club back and they push the club out over their neck, over their shoulders, because they're trying to hit at the ball. So back around in a good position. From here, you have the shoulder externally, or the arm externally rotated, the shoulder adducted behind you, pulled behind you, and from here, you're allowing the club to swing back down. So this is something that you can work on just even putting on a small tee. Now put both hands on it, on the club, take your grip. So here's my right arm grip from the side. So this is my elbow pocket, my right elbow pocket looking at the camera. Now as I swing back down, or I swing back up, you can see I get a little bend in my, now I'm not collapsing my right arm. That's something I see a lot of times too, is that people will collapse their right arm and their left arm. So we need to have a little structure there. So you can see I'm keeping my left arm relatively straight, but my right arm is giving it a lot of structure. There's a lot of power in that right arm there. So as I swing back, check the right arm, swing through. You know, again, I talk about the little swings all the time. People who are struggling with contact need to do the little swings, work on the mechanics, get it technically correct, and then speed it up. Don't just go from, you know, full swing and try to do it that way. So I hope you really enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. I love bringing you information to play better golf. So thanks again for watching. My name is Jess Frank. I've been teaching this game for 20 years. Please subscribe, please turn on the notifications, and let me know your biggest takeaway from this video. Have a great day. Thank you.